Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name is Dave, and I'm joined today by Rosie.
Hello, everyone.
And Rosie is here because she has been playing Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yes.
In fact, you went to Capcom's office in London to play it, right?
I did, yes. I went to a preview event, and I got to play... This isn't the final build of the game, but a build of the game.
Yep.
And as you can see, I got to fight some pretty big monsters.
I'm hoping there was a bit of preamble, Rosie, before you got into this, because
Nope.
this has started action heavy.
Well, I mean, there was a little bit of a run-up to it, but I was literally like, let's just dive straight in there, fighting this massive monster, which is called a Nerscylla. I really hope I pronounced it correctly. But as you can see, it's a massive spider creature with all of its little spider pals, and it does a whole variety of attacks. And when I went to the last preview event, I felt like this was the toughest monster that I fought so far.
Right.
Because as you can see, it jumps, it has webs that can like start you for a bit, it dives like that, and it has this little wing so it glides a little bit. It's got an extending attack, it's got poison. The environment means sometimes that you can get like just bombarded with loads of little spiders. There was so much to consider in this fight, but I had an absolutely great time with it.
It's extremely mobile, isn't it? I mean, you've just described all its different like movesets, but it's very, for a big creature, it seems to be getting around and posing a lot of threats.
Oh yeah, it does not mess around. Like, look, it's just fully after me. When you see, Dave, that little like icon in the middle of the screen, that means that I'm aiming, because when you aim, you can see like a weak spot of the enemy for when you cause enough damage. And if you hit that with a specific attack, that means you do a really cool, like, strong attack. So if you see me trying to aim for a little red area on it, that's why I'm like, I'm going to aim for that weak spot and get it.
Am I right in saying, Rosie, that you are kind of a Monster Hunter beginner?
Yeah, so literally I've only played a bit of Rise and a bit of World, so I'm still very fresh to the world of Monster Hunter, but I feel like with this, I like to think I've picked it up pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely a complete noob when it comes to Monster Hunter, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how you've got on and to hear about your experiences of it, because it's such a cool game. And, you know, fans of the series are just you can only be like a huge fan of the series. I don't think you can have a passing interest. And I want some of that. And like looking at this monster design and this just epic battle, it just seems like something I would really enjoy. So I'm intrigued to know like how you found it and how you've picked up the game.
Yeah, honestly, I've been having a blast, like, because, you know, I'm still very new to this series and everything. You are going to see me using a fair bit of potions, and also this was my first time using this weapon. So when I did the preview last year, I used a switch axe, whereas this time I've used a bloomin' great big sword, because I thought I'd spice it up a bit. And just like my character in Elden Ring, sometimes I just like wielding a really big sword.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually the most ideal thing for this fight, because my attacks, they're strong but very slow.
Yes.
And as you can see, this enemy is very speedy, very agile, very quick. So when I did hit it, it was like I felt really happy. I was like, yes, I've got it. But it did also mean that if I was charging up an attack, that was enough, and it was already doing an animation. That's it. I could be massively hit.
Yeah. And how, like, is this part of a quest, or is this just something, you know, are you just out in the world finding monsters?
So this is a quest. So the quest that we were on for this preview was to hunt this Nerscylla. So literally, just I popped up and it said, quest begin. Go fight it. And I was like, off I go then. So before the fights, you can prepare with potions and everything. But essentially it is, you're going in there to slay this monster and just adapt to what it is that's coming. As you can see right now, the monster, so what it does is when it reaches a certain point in its health, it will move to a different location.
Right.
So this has now moved to its second area, which is more of like its web area.
It's like its home.
Yeah, and as you can see, it can get stuck in it. When I was at the event, the representative from Capcom was like, oh, what spider gets stuck in its own web, idiot?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Which did make me feel better. I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm doing well in this, I think. So you've got different environments that you're going to be fighting in. And also, depending on the environment, you can sometimes have moments where you can grapple up on the ceiling, and then you could maybe get the drop on the monster, or do some traps. You see that had a little, like, glowing light thing that we just ran past. If you trigger that, then there's like a massive flash that can daze the enemies, which I didn't do with the big monster, but I did it with a bunch of little spiders that were running around, and I was like, come here, I want to see what this does. And they all got really dazed. But because of this different environment, it can also go underneath the web as well, which I thought was terrifying, and I didn't like that move.
No.
And like, just look at it. It's so big, and you can see this is an example of using a really strong attack on when it gets a weak point from your damage.
Yes.
So when you see my character like run along the side of it as if it's just, you know, got a drumstick and put it against some tins or something. Did you do that as a kid? But
no, I have no idea what you're on about.
You know when it goes like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I understand.
Like a gate, that's it. That's what I'm talking about, like a gate. Yeah, when I do that move, that's because I've hit one of its weak points, which is highlighted in red.
Yes.
And that's the super strong attack that I can do. So let's see if I just missed it there. I just hit the top of its leg.
And what is the move you need to do to hit the weak points? Is that something you have to charge up, or is it just available? You just have to get in the right position. It's just difficult to land.
So you have to aim at the weak point. So you kind of go into a focus mode, which is when the cursor in the middle pops up. So when you're aiming, and then when you hit it with, I believe it's R1, that's what will trigger the like focus attack on it.
Right.
And they're just really satisfying to pull off. It's really satisfying to just every now and then examine to see what areas are weak from the damage you've been causing it, and then just to try and go in there and get it.
Yeah. Oh, like that, right? Oh,
right.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that.
Nice.
Big damage. It's all stumbled in the webs. And also you've got your Palico who helps you out as well. Yeah,
I was going to ask about the Palico.
Yes. So they can be really handy because, for example, in this fight, there's a moment where I get poisoned. And if I'm poisoned, my Palico may be able to say, let's take that status effect off you, and then can heal me from the poison, rather than me having to try and drink a potion or an antidote and something to try and heal myself. Because when you're fighting, you've got a lot on your plate at the moment.
There's a lot to think about, yeah. Is the Palico completely AI controlled, or can you give them any kind of instructions?
I believe it's completely AI controlled. I'm not sure about that, to be fair, because in this build we didn't delve into the settings or anything like that. But I was just happy that they were there to be by my side.
Certainly in this fight, you weren't telling the Palico to do anything. It was just helping you out.
It was just helping me out, yeah, which I greatly appreciated because also this was like me going into a battle solo, so the game will be having multiplayer, but in this preview build we only did single player.
Right.
So the whole time I was fighting, I was there thinking, God, imagine if I had some other hunters here right now. Imagine if I had a hunter with a ranged weapon. That would be nice.
Oh, ranged weapon would be good here.
So this was... You may see that I've done a transition to like the same web area, but that's because when it run off after I just fought it previously, I only hit it once or twice, and then it was like, I've had enough, I'm going back. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I need to show me just running up, hitting it twice, and it goes, no, I'm sorry, I'm going back to my web. So this is essentially like the fourth section of the fight, so this is where I was really hoping that I was getting to like the final phases, because as you fight and it moves around, you can see it's weaker, it's not moving as nimbly as it did, but you know, bless it, it's still giving it its all in the fight.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to bless it. It's horrible and it needs to be destroyed.
But, honestly, spiders are the things that, they just freak me out. So when I saw this, I thought, oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spider met a crab or something. It's quite crispy. I'm not into it at all. But is that a stamina bar at the top in the yellow?
So yes, the yellow is your stamina bar, and then the green, which is now flashing purple, that's your health. So it's flashing purple at the moment because I've been poisoned. But in order to heal, you can have like rations, which tends to be meat, or you've got your potions. But for your potions, you need to finish drinking it in order to fully heal. It's not as if you can just press it and they go, and it's done. And it's done. They have to fully sip it, because there were a lot of moments where I started sipping a potion, enemy came to attack me, I dodged, and then I actually healed less because of it. So as you can see here, I rolled and it didn't heal me as much as it could have done.
Yes, sure.
Which is a mechanic I really, really liked. But this is when I thought, oh God, it's up there. Is there anything I can do with it? Again, I really wish I had a ranger or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't need a ranger because...
No way.
Oh, nearly there. Wait.
There we go. Strong wide slash.
So
It's doing that thing spiders do.
yeah, so that was my time with Monster Hunter Wilds, which is coming to PS5 on the 28th of February. Dave, thank you so much for joining me
You're
in
welcome.
this epic fight. And please stay tuned to the channel because we have loads more Monster Hunter Wild content coming up. Thank you all so much for watching.
PlayStation